What's going on, guys? So today we are going to be changing steering wheel on my mate's 1998 Evolution 5. Now, before you get started with this sort of thing, you want to make sure that there's no power at the airbag. So with this car, because this car's been heavily modified and the battery's actually been relocated into the boot here. So all you have to do on this model itself is hit both of the isolator buttons, and that opens the circuit and disengages the power from the rest of the vehicle and keeps it all back here. So, all right, so now that the battery has been isolated, now we can go ahead and start removing the steering wheel. All right, so if we come inside the car, you can see that it's just a pretty basic design. All it is to remove this steering wheel and the airbag itself is two Torx bolts either side of the back of the steering wheel here. So once those are removed, the airbag can then come out, and then there'll be one circular nut and probably two connectors for the airbag behind there and for the horn. And then once all that's done, you can pull the steering wheel off. We have the other wheel here, and here is the connector here for the horn. The airbag connector will probably come through the clock spring here, but we can show you all that once we get this airbag out of the way. So let's start removing that. All right, now this plug is an old style plug, so it's actually held in by a metal connector. So you just separate the prongs. And then it comes straight out. So now here is our airbag connector, and there is your clock spring, and then also the wire for the horn. Now the clock spring's job is to keep an electrical connection. There's a massive roll of wiring inside there. Well, it's wiring, but it's not. It's a thin tape sort of wire, and it's spooled up in hundreds of little circles. So then when you spin the steering wheel, no matter how many times you spin it left or right, it'll still stay, it'll still have electrical connection to both these plugs here. So now all we have to do is disconnect the horn and then take off this center nut. Now we won't loosen it all the way because these can be a pain in the ass to get off sometimes. So let's go loosen that. All right, so now that we have the right size, what you're gonna wanna do is try and get a good grip on here. And there, it should come off pretty easily. There's no need to use impact wrenches. Once you've got the nut loose, this one was actually pretty easy. So thankfully that for us, that is. And that's off. That's how it's done. Now this is the clock spring we were talking about before. Now you got to make sure that you keep it in the same position that you took it off with. Otherwise, you can, when you go to turn the steering wheel, there is actually a limitation on how far these can go left and right. There's a certain amount of turns. All right, so now basically all we have to do is everything we just did at the start, but in reverse. So connect the horn up, then grab our airbag and refit our connector. Just give the prongs a bit of a squeeze. If you're doing it on a newer car, they have tabs in there anyway, so they won't have this prong system. But just squeeze those prongs just to make sure there's still tension on them, so the plug won't come out. Then sit the plug or the airbag in. Sorry. Then once you get a few threads in, just make sure that it's actually screwing into the horn itself, the airbag assembly, and that's job done. So now we'll go and reconnect the battery and then make sure that the horn works, and then we'll be good to go. So now all that we have to do is flick them back on, and then now we'll have power to the rest of the car. Also, remember the key, That's a vital part as well. Job done.